Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor Reacts. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are here with another react about a game that I grew up with, RuneScape. That's right. I used to play RuneScape a lot. I would go after high school. I had AOL dial-up and crap like that, way back in the day. And then I moved out in the country, and we had no real internet and computer. Listen, I wouldn't say I was poor, but I was almost there. So I would go to my local library and spend like an hour, 2 hours, as much time as they would give me. And sometimes I would, I wouldn't say beg, but I would convince the librarian to give me just a little extra time. She'd go on her computer and here you go, you get a couple extra minutes. My mom's not back yet to pick me up from the library. And I would sit there and I played RuneScape with one of my best friends in high school. And so we're going to watch a video. I have no idea what the hell's happened to RuneScape in all these years. I have no idea what's happened. I do want to go back and play maybe the old version, the old school RuneScape, just for the vibes of it. But apparently there is a lot of changes coming, and a lot of it has to do with modifications, which is crazy because I thought they didn't allow modifications. So we're going to jump in and maybe I'll get some information out of this. And so will you. Let's jump in.
Competitive PKing scene from the early days of RuneScape 2, the clans.
I hate when videos just automatically start ahead.
RuneScape has always had a competitive PKing scene from the early days of RuneScape 2, the clans, bounty hunter.
Sorry, don't care about that.
Servers, the Jagex Cup, and now in 2024 with PKing being the most intense state that it's ever.
Man, I'll tell you, I was good at this game. But I was also the slimiest scum bucket player you would ever see. I successfully, and I'm not proud, but I'm the dude that would bait players into following me into the wild. I would kill them. I would steal their stuff. Or I would bait people to do account recoveries or whatever they were called. They'd give me their information, hey, I can get you this. And I would quickly go off, drop the money off on the side somewhere in the then I'd take the character back. Then I would sign into my character who would already be ready, and I would go to that area. And after so many minutes, it's 10 minutes, or at a certain time, the loot would spawn publicly for everyone. I would just be there in this little hidey area, ready to pick it up, and all that money. I'm not proud of it. I did that a lot. I was the dude that had the Santa hats and all that. I would be very, they would see me as the guy. No, I didn't actually go into main accounts like that. I would have a side account that I would then drop it to another account. I made sure that my main account would never get banned, but I was a scumbag. So, killing people, stealing their stuff. Man, I was, in the truest sense, I should have been part of a thieves guild because I was a thief.
Ever been in, the PKing skill cap has finally peaked. But what if I told you that for just $20 a month, you could become a better PKer than 99.9% of RuneScape? For the last few years, the PK client problem in RuneScape has continued to grow, and it is now finally at a point.
It's good to see, I know these are members, and I never really played member. So that's kind of right. A little window. I never played member until late until when I stopped playing. I always played free to play. So that's why I had no problem being that scummy guy who was stealing stuff. Obviously I would never be successful at stealing from members because they're going to have more knowledge. But for these new players, especially with RuneScape being rather new back in the day when I was playing, all the stuff is obviously not new. And I feel like people who are now playing aren't going to be your Xbox Game Pass noobs. But everything seems about the same as what it's crazy seeing it.
Point of no return. On a game like RuneScape, where once skill and practice meant that putting in the work would make you better than most,
classic
has now
sound
been
effects
reduced to less than a small McDonald's order on DoorDash, even without the tip included. For years, I've been a deep wilderness PKer. I've spent thousands of hours over the course.
I'm trying to remember. I've been here. I remember the last time I played, and someone can correct me, you would have to travel out to the wilderness, and it was this wizard fight. Like you could do a different thing. It was like this cave that you go into and you can buy like this warlock set or something like that. But I remember it like it's like a 1v1 that you would rush out and you would just fight people like randomly in this battle royale, but you wouldn't. I don't think you could fight other people. You're just running through this group of people and you're just finding this one person that has the little symbol on him, and you had to go find him and you fight it out and duke it out. But you didn't lose any of your stuff. You just would kill people, earn points, and then you turn the tokens in. Like, I don't remember. It's been so long ago. Someone who has a vague memory can tell me in the comment section.
My life PKing at Mage Bank, East Dragons, PvP Worlds, and I've always really loved the idea of PKing.
Wait. PvP Worlds? There's actual legit open worlds where you could just fight people? This looks like a nightmare. Why would you want to do this? Why would you ever just... This is the bank or the Grand Exchange, if I remember, if that's what it was called. Why would you... Like, the Grand Exchange used to be a safe zone for sure from, like, everything, like NPCs and stuff like that that would summon and try to attack you or something. What the hell?
In single-way combat. From TBing your opponent and engaging in large-scale battles...
Holy crap!
The thrill of a 1v1 fight in max gear. This is what always has been exciting to me about RuneScape. In the early days...
Dude, it's a throwback to see people... Like, I did play some member, and I had my friend log into my account, and we shared an account. Like, he did the member stuff on my account, and that's why I said members. Like, I never did it, my buddy did. Like, we shared an account. We would level up stats. Like, he had like 99 woodcutting and fishing on my account, and he had the lava cape and everything.
Players would practice.
The last thing he did before he quit was he was trying to go for the second level of the lava cape, like the new version of it.
For weeks on end to improve at PvP, fighting each other in the duel arena or clan wars portals, to eventually gearing up and trying their luck in the wilderness, often upgrading their gear as they improved and accumulated kills, and many would even go on to
there's lava cape
content around PKing, joining clans, or even competing in high-scale PvP tournaments for prizes and notoriety. But somewhere along the line,
I didn't realize that people took this game that seriously. That I knew there was like clans. Like I had friend lists. I knew people were that serious about clans, but also having tournaments in RuneScape, like that's interesting.
In 2010, the origin of cheating in PvP began, and the process has been ongoing ever since.
Oh, see, I stopped playing. Let's see, I graduated in 2011, and that's when I started. I already had like my own gaming PC by that time, so RuneScape for me kind of went downhill. So it makes sense that after I stopped playing is when the cheating started.
Started with something called auto.
And I'm gonna say this right now. If I was scummy enough to steal and deceive people and then kill them, and yes, I would have probably used cheats back then too. Yes, and as a high schooler, absolutely, I would have used those cheats.
Switching. Players were often praised for being able to switch 6 or 8 items at once and having the guts to PK with them. Around this time, players would use a program called Jitbit.
I used to do this, not Jitbit, but I used to be, like I said, one of the last things I would try to do was hot swap. Like if I went against a wizard, I would hot swap to range or it to just destroy. Like I got good at hot swapping. That was the last skill that I learned before I stopped playing RuneScape was hot swapping. Now, what is Jitbit?
In order to switch all of their items when pressing a key on their keyboard. This would obviously give them an advantage in fights, as instead of having to accurately put on 8 items, the program would just do it all for you. If you were low HP or about to die, instead of switching to your tank gear and clicking 8 items, you could simply just press F6 on your keyboard and Jitbit would do it for you. Over time, people got clowned on and were continuously ridiculed by the PKing community who tried to implement these tactics. This stuff was kind of looked at as
hello, you're greasy, quit, you're bad, bro's playing League. And you know what's funny? I guarantee he kills all 4 of them. I love people who would just do that, or they would get mad and they would say stuff, and they're the same people that would lose all their stuff.
Pathetic and wouldn't offer.
And I say this because like I remember farming and people making fun of you for doing things, and then something happens and then they die and then you steal other stuff and then they're like, give back my stuff. Like, nope, you died. You're stupid. Like you'll be farming, killing enemies, farming for big bones from the giants, and someone would be getting mad at you like, oh, you're a loser. You should, I'm a member, blah, blah, blah. And you just steal all their crap.
Often be taken seriously within the underground PKing circles and the clan world. Rightly so, in the upper echelon of the PKing community, no one thought highly of someone who used a program to switch for them, as your reputation in these days meant everything, and once you were outcasted from the clanning circle.
Ooh, what reputation? Like, I know this is an MMO and RuneScape, but like, it is crazy how people's personality in video games define their existence. Like, these are dudes that are stuck in their mom's basement sweating, who got, like, these are your typical, like, South Park, this is the fat loser episode where he's like, rah. Right? That's these people. Like, if your personality revolves around a game, you need a new personality, man. Like, don't take it that serious.
You were looked at as scum.
Unless you are being paid, which it looks like there were some paid tournaments, like, hey, pop off, you know, you're making bank. But if you're just a dude who's just working a 9 to 5, like, I know your life probably isn't that good, but your video game is not going to make it any better, like, as your personality.
This was basically the extent of cheating in PvP during the pre-EOC era, but little did we know, this PvP curse would return, and it would return with a vengeance. In the more recent years of RuneScape, players wanted a more optimized game client as opposed to the original one, as it was lacking several quality of life features and ultimately made the game less enjoyable for all. Jagex understood this, and after some time and a ton of Reddit debates, they finally decided to fully endorse RuneLite, the greatest RuneScape client ever created.
External plugins are verified to not be malicious or rule breaking, but are not maintained by RuneLite developers. They may cause bugs or instability. Use at your own risk. GPU renderer with a suite of graphical enhancements. Right-click bank table to enable layout. A helper for requesting. Bro, does this mean that you can do macros too? Like, is it like if you click? I remember back in the day that they were so heavy-handed about banning macros, and I would use them too. Like, I would go to school, like when I first, like, toward the end, when I finally got my own computer and it wasn't AOL dial-up, I would literally use a macro, and that's how I got to 99 woodcutting, because it was the most mundane, boring crap. Like, I would play other games on, like, my Xbox. Like, I had, like, Xbox and PlayStation and stuff like that. Like, that's what I was doing. I was playing the console while leveling up my wood chipping. And I would do that with my friend if he'd be leveling up stuff, too, on his, because he used to have his own account before we shared account. But, like, man, if you're telling me I can hop on, download macros and things that just do the game for me, people got it easy.
RuneLite would allow users to have access to and import their own external plugins that fundamentally change the way that we would view the game. As it would make certain things easier, it would also allow players more functionality that otherwise would be inaccessible.
Hints. I don't know how about you, but I would spend hours trying to figure out quests, or I would open up a different tab on the library computer just to figure out, like, okay, what do I do now? Well, I need this. Where do I get this item? I have to go across the freaking map to get this guy. I've got to trade this. I got to do this. Like, oh my God. The fact that people just got the easy button now, like, bro.
However, this did come with some issues. Since RuneLite was open source, players could easily peek into the code and either extract information or add to it. And it wasn't long before the players of RuneScape decided that they could use the RuneLite client to create a real cheat engine that would allow them to excel in PvP. Players would use this opportunity.
Who would have thought you let programming inside your game when you are vehemently choosing not to, and then suddenly you allow a loophole where people can do programs? Who would have thunk?
To script plugins that would not only automatically change gear for you like back in the day, but it would also eat, change weapons, use special attacks, and never miss game ticks. At first, it was mostly noobs using stuff like this, and they were pretty easy to kill, so it didn't really impact the majority of the PKing ecosystem. However, over time, the plugin scripters and
well, yeah, I mean, you've seen the clips of Call of Duty with the aim bots and stuff, and usually there are people who are bad. Like, if a good player uses a aimbot, they're going to be even better. Like, they're going to be undefeatable. Cheats only help crappy players to a certain extent. It doesn't, like, we've all seen those videos of cheaters, and they just suck. They just die. It doesn't make them better. It just supports their already crappy skills. Whereas if you're already a legend at a game, You just got God mode handed to you.
Improved, and so did the players, which started a wave of unbeatable Megatrons. 2 years ago, when the Steam client for RuneScape officially launched, I came across a group of players who injected the client with code and used several cheats in order to annihilate anyone in PvP. For weeks I battled with these guys in the Revenant Caves, and it seemed as if nothing would stop them. Even when they got banned, which was hardly ever, they would always resurface the next day with a brand new account that they bought on a black market, and the rampage would continue.
The same, I mean, that's what you see. That's exactly what you see. It is cheap. Like, people can make bank on cheats, like making accounts. Like, there's two ecosystems. There's the ones that sell you the cheats, and then there's the others that build and make these accounts in hopes that you will get banned from cheats, or you buy them for cheats, and they'll sell them. They'll do all the work ahead of time. That's all they do. They keep making accounts, like free to play accounts, and then you purchase it from them. And then you buy a subscription or whatever the hell you want to do, and then you buy the cheat, and then rinse and repeat. Like, yeah, you can make bank. Like, coming from someone who plays Destiny, which is like an Halloween mask wearing MMO, like it's not nowhere near close to a real MMO like RuneScape. You can the cheats and just all that stuff is like, it's crazy how easy it is to just buy cheats and how cheap it is. Like, or even just buying recovered accounts or new accounts. Like, I've shopped around to see what is going on under the hood, and you would be surprised how like easy it is to do. It's crazy, which also makes you wonder, why aren't these, if I'm just a gamer who's looking at that stuff, like, why aren't like Jagex and all these other companies looking at these and be like, oh, we should do something up and target that website? I don't know, food for thought.
These guys were making so much money by killing legitimate players in PvP and selling the gold that the account bans were not even relevant to the profits that they were bringing in.
No.
Fortunately for me, these guys were actually kind of cool, and they would eventually come into my Twitch chat regularly and told me how the client worked, showed me several clips of how the program operated, and what it could do in a 1v1 scenario. From my perspective, it looks like I'm fighting a PKer who's in max gear and standing on me between hits. He combos me down with a volatile nightmare staff and then into a max hit with the Elder Maul. Seems pretty normal, like I just got outplayed. But from his point of view, the client automatically changes into max gear and barrages me, and then it steps under me in the same game tick after putting on tank gear. Then in the next tick, it automatically switches back to max mage, uses a volatile nightmare staff special attack, changes back into his tank gear, and steps under me once again in the same game tick so I can't see them. It automatically one ticks into the Elder Maul for the KO, and then stands under me again. For the average player, this might not even be detectable, but this is often happening more than you think. So yeah, as you guys can see,
that's wild. This is why I just don't play PvP games. And here's the thing. I'm going to take a wild take. RuneScape was never meant to be PvP. Like, yes, it's in there, but RuneScape is all about the PvE experience. And I think if you want to enjoy a game to its fullest, you have to really look at it in the full window. What are the risks and rewards, the chance of a cheater, and is it something that you can pass on? And I'm going to say it. I think you can play RuneScape without ever having to touch PvP or go in the wilderness, and you're not going to miss out on much, especially with the chance that all that hard work could be just stolen from you. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
Truly some devious stuff. These guys must have killed me over 20 times in the span of a week, and that's going against somebody who knows what they're doing. Imagine what these guys were doing on a daily basis to the average PKer, or even somebody who was just experiencing the wilderness for the first time. To make matters worse, these guys told
I know what that is. It's always fun to get those people that have never seen. Look at it, Adamant, man. You see someone like this, you knew it with like maybe a rune art piece. You knew they were going to be easy prey. You're like, ooh, rune axes. Ooh, come here. I need those. Come on down.
Told me that they hardly played RuneScape at all and thought it would be fun to just hop on the game and abuse the PvP scene for a few weeks. I don't know how true this is, but they said that they mostly played League of Legends and Dota and just happened to have a background in coding. With limited knowledge of RuneScape, this is what they could do to anybody in the Revenant Caves with little to no experience in PvP. After a few months, the Steam
Well, it sounds like you just need to stay away from the Revenant Caves.
client injectors totally disappeared, only returning for Deadman mode once in a while and to mess around. But that's not even the real problem of today's era. Nowadays in 2024, we have bigger problems. Players have created entire cheating Discord servers where for just $20, you can have access to the greatest PKing abilities in RuneScape. These custom-made plugins will allow you to fully abuse your opponent in PvP while doing almost nothing at all.
Sweet. Man, I guess that's what I need to do is just download that and just go nuts. Now, if you could do this for against PvP, can you also do this against PvE? Like if I just want to I'm gonna fight some dragons, just hands off, let it do the job. Like I feel like that's pretty juiced too.
So yeah, for just a couple dollars a month, you can terrorize PvP and go toe to toe with the best pickers in the game.
Heck yeah.
That client is too strong, bro. My life. He can just do anything he wants.
It's actually so embarrassing that Jagex allows such a vast and impressive PvP scene, one like any other game, to turn into such.
Oh my god. There's actually they actually had a championship. Oh, you know what? You can't blame them for trying. Like, I just is wow. PvP. They really wanted to make this game pop, didn't they? Wow.
Game to turn into such filth and degeneracy. I'm honestly quite embarrassed to say that I was proud of being a good PKer at one point, knowing how many hours I've dedicated to practicing over the years, and now this stuff is going on under our noses and absolutely nothing is being done about it apart from infrequent bans that are only due to player reports.
And here's the thing. Why should they care? Why should Jagex care? People are buying subscriptions, and they're getting banned, and then they come back, and then they buy more subscriptions. They don't care. You're gonna play anyways, right? You're gonna play. It's not like PvP is the dominant part of the game, and it's not. So why should they care? Why should they extend more resources for something that is probably like only a certain percentage of the total game?
The problem with this is that it ruins the ecosystem of PKing and gives the undeserving players a chance to be a top tier PKer without putting in any of the work. These clients are extremely difficult to fight since they're not human and never make mistakes, and now even gold farmers from Venezuela are using these methods to kill players and sell gold as opposed to their regular botting or gold farming tactics, killing revenants or farming PVM bosses. This is just way more lucrative.
This guy's buying our lunch tomorrow. Good. Kill him. I'm going to use the thing. What? He's totally screwed. I'm going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Now hit it. Oh, we're eating. That's. Get out now. You screwed his mom. Dude, this throws me back. That throws me back, man. When you're just 1v1ing people 4 times. We're rich.
Why would anybody enjoy or want to become a better PKer in RuneScape knowing this is what's out there and what they will eventually need to compete with?
You just don't. Just don't. There's a large part of the rest of the game. Just play that.
Legitimate players lose tons of gold even engaging in these fights, and with all the terrible updates to PvP, such as the PJ timer changes and
whoa, this is new. I don't know what this is.
PvP, such as the PJ timer.
All right, in the wilderness, they are recently were in combat. The wilderness specific PJ timer mechanics are not applied in the themed worlds 318 and 319, as well as the dead mode world. NPCs attacking the player within PvP areas are now trigger a 5-second timer instead of the full 12-second timer, matching the behavior from before the PJ timer increase of March 9, 2022. Players can no longer trade in the wilderness if they are or recently were in combat. Ew, what? So I guess that's to combat cheaters, so you can't kill someone then trade it? Man. It's almost like back in the day I would kill people, steal their stuff, and then also like run away if trade stuff. Oh, man. Ooh.
Changes and logout timers being decreased, these guys have even more advantages over the community who plays fairly. All in all, it's just sad to see what RuneScape has become, and either this stuff is 100% undetectable by Jagex, or they're just extremely careless and have given up on PvP to the point where they don't even want to moderate this stuff anymore.
I mean, why would they? Again, here's the problem. They open the floodgates when you allowed people to modify their game with like plugins. Like you open up a nightmare. Like if I was them and you want to make some bank, just focus on your PvE, which seems like that might be the place to play now.
RuneScape was once a game that was recognized and celebrated for its PvP system and unique style in the MMO space. And now it's nothing but a joke with a pathetic end to a legendary storyline. As I spoke about it in my last video, The Many Disasters of Deadman,
But is it really the end of it? I don't know. If I don't think it is, I think PvE, like, I'm going to have to play this game like through the free experience, then get, I guess, on the old school and then go to members. I got to run through this eventually one day to see.
Mode, which you should definitely check out. Link is down below in the description. 38 minutes of every deadman mode disaster in history. These PvP plugins have been ruining the last few tournaments as well, which has caused many content creators to quit early and stop promoting the game mode, which is not healthy for the longevity of RuneScape. If Jagex doesn't do
again, there is the PvE aspect, and so like, I don't know. I guess I'm ignorant. Maybe it is a big part of it. Maybe I concede that I am ignorant, and maybe I have no idea. I'm just a filthy, casual old man that used to play this game heavily. I'm just the relic that should keep his mouth shut. I don't know. But coming from someone who's played around, nothing's probably going to change. This is going to be probably your life for now.
Something about this, the PvP scene will continue to starve and the game will never recover. We literally have players making full-length, multiple episode-long PK videos using these plugins, and they only ever get banned after.
Yeah, because they're literally going to make money from it. They're going to get views. They're going to get everything they need. Of course. Hell, if I said screw it, I'm going to make Destiny 2 cheats, or I'm going to sell them. Hell yeah, I'm going to make an account and focus on it. Hell yeah. I'm going to go make some bank. Or if I'm going to make some RuneScape, like, hell yeah. You soak up all that you can. People don't realize that people who do cheats, like sell cheats and services, that's their livelihood. This isn't just like a game to them. This is their paycheck. This is their 9 to 5. They're going to do what they can to make money. And people need to stop seeing it as like, oh, it's just a hobby or something. No, this is someone's paying their bills, their house bill, their electric, their health coverage. Like, when you start realizing and tackling things from a point of view of this is someone's job, and that's why they're gonna fight back and put a lot more effort to see that cheats accelerate, then developers start realizing, oh, well, if we want our game to be in a good place, we really got to hustle and put some effort into actually combating this, because we're fighting people's jobs. We're not fighting like losers in mom's basement who think they're having just a meme time making cheats. No, these are people whose lives are dependent on cheats.
After a player harasses Jagex to do something about it. But by then, it's already too late. They've been on a rampage for weeks, killed hundreds of legitimate players, which ends up being a totally unfair way for them to lose their items and acquired wealth.
Hey guys, my name's Novus. I'm the person editing this video. I visited an interview with a guy named Antonio. Antonio used to work with a lot of the Venezuelan clienters, and he's where we got a lot of our information from. Antonio is concerned that if his identity is exposed in the process of making this video, it could potentially cause him some real life harm. As a result
I wonder why.
Of that, and in combination,
it's almost like I said people's jobs were on the line because of this.
With the fact that he said several words that we cannot put on YouTube, I have had to cut the interview quite a lot and change his voice, but I tried my best to keep the integrity of it, so I hope you guys enjoy.
But the thing is that these Bennies, bro, trust me, they are like, how it's called, like gangsters, bro, you know? These are not the Bennies that, you know, they're red farmers and shit. This is a job for them, because if they get banned, they trade you, bro. Whenever they get...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's people's jobs. They're doing it for a living. So if you get them banned, they just lost their job. And yeah, they're going to come after you.
They don't know your voice or anything, right?
Yeah, a lot of them knows, but I hope they don't realize.
How?
Do they know? They don't know your real life. Yeah, a lot of them knows. I just hope they don't know in real life. Dude, if you're talking in Discord, most people know what you sound like. Like, what are we talking about? I digress.
How often would you say you would run into, like, if you just went PKing on a regular day, like just went world hopping, how likely are you to come across somebody using the cheat client? Like, how often are these guys out there?
A lot, bro, a lot. You have 20 fights in the rev capes, like from 20 fights, I don't know, 17.
And
I feel like, so you want to be able to play PvP in this game, just don't go to these areas that these guys are at. Like, it seems like they're not afraid to showcase how to PvP using this cheat. Just don't go there.
what happens, do you think, if these guys, like if they get banned?
A lot of them deactivate the auto eat. As you can see, all the bennies, if you eat GS mode, they don't even eat between hits because they deactivated that mode.
So what you're saying is they've basically used the client for specific things, like and the reason they do that is to make it so it's not obvious, so they can avoid being banned and make everybody think that they're fighting a legitimate player, when in reality they have only the advantages that they need.
The thing is that they need to improve and put some anti-cheating on the client. It's a modified RuneLite that you exploited, so it's very, very difficult to catch them. The only way to catch them is using the videos or just abusing it, you know.
Yeah, like making it really.
Here's the thing. Even if you have like who, like only stupid people are going to reveal that they're using it. Like, yes, videos like, oh, you got him in Crossfire, but you have to like actually prove that he's actually using a program, and it's just not them playing. Like how do you, like, someone else's point of view is not going to do the job. Like, they have to rat on themselves. That's the reality. They like. I feel like with this, if you let other people use macros and other things, and you can make it look like it's real player input, I don't see them ever catching it.
Really obvious.
Exactly.
How do you know the cheat clienters? How do you know they're using it? And like, what do they do?
I think the main thing you can see whenever they're using client is very easy. First of all, go to altar, right? In altar, all the bennies do not bring teleport. So instead of the teleport, they bring seats. Body seats and middle seats. You will see, you can fight a benny, and you will say, okay, this guy's good, because bennies are not good. There are a few ones that are very good, but the others are trash. You can discover them because whenever they are low in food, they're not gonna run. They're gonna go for the auto DD. So if they get the freeze, they're gonna start approaching you. You just simple double seat, bro. Nobody have their reaction time to move 2 steps at the same tick and also eating and changing prayers. I think that's the main reason that you can see if somebody is using this kind of client.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't even know what items he's talking about, but it seems like you can see the pattern of activation. And so, like, if I were actually learn all this stuff, I think I would try to understand a little bit more of the process. And then that way I can be able to know if I'm like, but even if they're cheating, like, can you stop it? There's no way to stop it.
And how do you know these guys? Like, how do you have so much information on them? Like,
There was some guys from USA trying to sponsor the client in the bennies Discord. So that's why all the bennies starts using it, because it's free money. The advantage you have, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Is there anything else that you want to include that you think the public should know, or Jagex needs to be aware of?
Every time, if you PK, guys, try to record, and if you see something sus, just send it to guide. So for all the people that are gonna see this video, record every time you PK. Or try to help the community, because if not, the world is gonna die. Everyone is gonna be 8King, and well, it's boring.
If you feel the same way that I do and agree that this needs to be fixed, please remember to share, comment.
Again, you can send videos, but I mean, here's my general thoughts. People who cheat, they're just gonna do it again. I think the only way you can, like, you're cutting a hydra. Whereas if you go after the actual source of the cheats, which again, if this is considered like an acceptable modification, which I don't know, like, RuneLite is the source of the problem, and so maybe they should say, no, we're gonna ban that, or they make their own client with all these like modifications. Are like, that's the thing. I feel like they should just make their own. Instead of RuneLite, they just make their own RuneScape version, and they have their own program like that's acceptable you could choose from to use. I don't know. I don't have the quick, easy answer, but as long as you have window of opportunity, people are going to jump through that. And I don't know. Jagex used to be very heavy on the swings for bans, but man, just watching this makes me feel like they've become very lax. Like, the people, I don't even know like how many of the OG people are still there from when I played, who are running it. Maybe the new people are like, screw it, we don't care. I don't know. Someone sound off down below. If you play RuneScape in the PvP, let me know. How's it for you? Maybe one day I will return to the wilds. I don't know. I do want to play the OG RuneScape because that's some old stomping grounds for me. And as always, link will be down below. This is from Abyss. Link will be down below for you to check it out. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, game out.